Hi guys, in the last lecture we see what are margins and paddings in CSS. Now in this lecture we talk about what are borders and how to use it in CSS. Before going to border, we see you see here padding and margins by default. So you see the body of our browser and the divs tags here have a margin by default. So if you want to remove these paddings and margins that's by default, so for this you go to install tag and write here body, and in body you write margin 0 and padding 0. If you save it and reload it here, so now you see our margins and paddings are no, because we write here margins and padding 0. But you see here in two divs there is a certain gap here. So what is this? Because this is our paragraph tags have a margin and paddings by default also. So for this, if I go here and write here P and margin 0, padding 0, save it. So now you see here our gap is now removed because we have margins and paddings here. You see here at the top also have a H1 that has also a margins and paddings by default. So if I go here and H1, so I write here margin 0 and padding 0, save it. So now you see all our margins and paddings are removed because we have all the margins and paddings that are by default is going to 0. So now we move on our next lecture, that is border. So first I get rid of these all styles read here, and also want these divs remove here and make a project from scratch for borders. So in borders, first I write here div tag here, div, and the closing one. In div I want a paragraph tag, so I write here paragraph and write here this is border class. Save it and reload. So now our this is border class is here, but we want to style this. For this I write here div id and write here text. So in style I want this intention. So in style I write here text and start with hash because this is the id and id represent with hash in CSS. So in text I write here border, that is a border. I write here border, and first we want how many thick of our border line is. So I write here 1 pixels. Now what colors I want? I want here black color, and last one is what style of border. I write here solid. Save it and refresh. So now you see here our text has a border all around of it, and this is a border class in our border. So I want to reduce the width. I write here 300 pixels. Save it and reload. So now you see our width of our div is 300 pixels and border has solid. So if I want to change the color, I write here yellow and save it and reload. So now you see the yellow border around our div. If I want to increase the thickness of our line, so if I write here 10 pixels, save it, reload. So now you see our border has 10 pixels all around of it, and the color is yellow because we write here yellow, and this is solid. There are many border styles. So if I go to browser and write here border style here, so CS border style property W3 school websites over here, and you see there is a many border style. So if I down here, so you see there is a none. This is a value, hidden value, dotted, dashed, solid, double, groove, ridge, inset, and there are many more, and their description is here. So you go to browser and read all of these and implement on it. So if I write here solid and write here dash, save it and reload. So now you see our border is style is dashed. So there are many. If I write here dotted and save it, so now you see now our border is dotted. So you try out of it in your assignment. So now what if I want to change the color of all of these? If I want the top of color is red and here is yellow and bottom is green and the left one is blue. So for this I write here border color. I write here border and color. So the top one I want here red because this is our this is our clockwise. So first top, then right, then bottoms, and then left, like a margins that we see in the last lecture. So the first one, top one is red, the second one is green, the third one I write here yellow, and the fourth one that is left I write here blue. So save it and refresh. So now you see all our border colors has changed. The first one, the top one is red and the right one is green and the bottom yellow and left I have a blue. So that is color. If I want to change the border style, so I write here border and write here style. The top one I write here dotted and the right one I write here dashed and the bottom I write here solid and the left one I write here none, that has no bar. Save it and reload. So now you see the top one has dotted, we write here dotted and the color is red, and the right one have a green, that is color is green and this is dashed, and right here second one dashed, and the bottom you see a yellow and the solid, so I write a third one yellow and solid. The fourth one I write here blue, but I do not write here because I write here none and there is no border. So if I write here the groove and save it, reload. So now you see the groove on the left side. This is a border style. So that is the border style. We see here border color, border style. Now the fourth one I write here border width. If I want to increase the width of all the side manually, so I write here the top one have 10 pixels and the right one have 5 pixels and the bottom one has also 4 pixels and the left one has 2 pixels. Save it and reload. So now you see our width is changed. Border width, the first one has 10, the right one has 5, and the 4, and the left one has 2. So actually now change because we write here error and I have a space between 4 and px, so that is why now this is changed. You see all the width have changed according to their width. So that is our border. So if I go to here and write an other div, now I want a square. So if I write here div and the closing one, and I write here div and id square. So I have a div in HTML and their id is square. Now in CSS, I go to here and write here hash that represent id and write here square. So I want 100 pixels by 100 pixels a box. So if I write here 100 pixels, sorry, if I write here width of our square is 100 pixels. Now I write here height of our square is 100 pixels. Now I write the color, I write here background color, and here I write red. So I save it and refresh. Now our box is here, that color is red, and there is 100 pixels in width and height. So if I write here margin of 20 pixels, now this is the outside of our box. So that is our margin, all of the sides 20 pixels. So now if I write here border 5 pixels and green and solid, save it and refresh. So now you see our border has a certain, our specific is here. Now this is the border radius. Now we talk about border radius. So border radius is very helpful. So if I want this square into a circle, I write here border radius. That is a very helpful in most cases. I write here 50%. Save it, reload. So now you see our sphere is converted into a circle and there is a 50% border here. If I write here 20 pixels border here, border radius. So now you see all the corner of our border has a 20 pixels bend and their radius is bent into 20 pixels. So if I want square one, I write here 50%, that is half of square. So now our is completely circle. So in most cases, you see a certain things I want to show you. If I delete all of these border styles in our text border. So now I write here, save it and refresh. So now this is our no border because we delete all the styles borders here. So if I want to change the background color and write here yellow, I want to show you interesting things. So now our yellow and I write here width of 300 pixels. Now our width is 300 pixels and I want a padding that is an inner space. I want here 20 pixels. So you clearly see all the things. So now our border has a 20 pixels paddings. This is a much, I want 10 pixels. This is a much. So that's fine. Now you see here, if I want a specific one, if I want the border in the left side or top sides only in the left side, top side is one-sided, so what would you do? Like margins that we see in the last lecture. So if I write here border and write here left, now our border left, that is this one, has a certain color and line. So if I write here border left 5 pixels solid and write here gray, so you see that is a very interesting. And now you see this is a border only in left side that you see in many websites or articles in browser. So that is a very handy way of using borders. So if I want border top here, I change it to border top and you see border top is here. So that is the lecture in which we talk about what is border and how to use them and their different styles and uses. So here we end this lecture. Please like the video and subscribe our channel and hit the bell icon for these latest videos. Thanks for watching and keep practice. Practice makes man perfect. Thank you.